About the first few minutes of the game and the five straight goals that UNC scored. What went wrong in that stretch? And were those the same problems I guess followed you guys throughout the rest of the game?
I thought it was a little bit different today. Well, yeah, they did follow us the rest of the game. With the face-offs, what was disappointing is the face-off guys started to get the ball themselves, and then the decisions we made afterwards really killed us. And then the other half of that was when we did get a stop defensively, we couldn't clear the ball. And, we know they're going to 10-man us. And we've been clearing the ball pretty well against a 10-man all year long. And, today we didn't. And I think a little bit of it is, with some of the injuries we've got some new people out there in defensive positions, and it doesn't help in clearing situations and then with defensive chemistry, if you will. So I thought Carolina came to play. They did a great job, and they were on top of it, and they took advantage of it, especially early in the game. And we didn't play with the poise that we needed to play with, especially early, to give more possessions to our offense.
Lindsey?
Yeah, John, specifically defensively, what do you tell the guys after a game like this? And where do you go from here facing two very difficult, games on the road? And how do you fix this?
Yeah, when we talked to the defense, the whole team after just a little while ago, and we've got to learn from our mistakes. We got to put it behind us now, and we really have to focus on the next opponent. And us as a staff will sit down and decide what's the best game plan to play Virginia with. So it's hard. It doesn't feel good. Very extremely disappointed. I want to when I say that we're disappointed in our play, I want to congratulate North Carolina, because that's the other half of it here. I thought they played extremely well, and good game plan, and they came to play. And then their goalie got some good stops when we did find a little crack in the lining. So we just have to. There's nothing we can do. We've got to turn around, know our next opponent, rise to the occasion, and play a lot smarter lacrosse than we've played today.
Arrow?
Offensively, I know it's a season low in goals. Was that do you put that mostly down to the fact that they just didn't touch the ball too much in the first half, or were they doing something? Were they struggling with something too?
I think that they played a little bit differently than we thought they would defensively. I think they weren't helping. They were forcing us to go one-on-one, and a couple times we would dodge and throw the ball forward. And we kept looking for the open man. There wasn't one because they didn't make a big commitment in sliding to us to help out. So we had to adjust to that some. And then, like I meant, they win a face-off and we get a stop defensively. Then we go to clear the ball and we give it right back to them. We can't, or else we're going to be playing less offense every game and more defense. But they played good defense, and their goalie's very good. He's been good all year, and he was certainly good today.
Patrick?
Hey, Coach, just touching a little bit more on the clears. You lost the first three. You couldn't clear the first three attempts of the game, and it seemed the rest of the way, even though UNC on the season isn't quite this dominating team with forcing turnovers, kept making you press the rest of the game. What happened there that just specifically that really stumped you?
Well, we've got some newer people in that haven't had a lot of game experience. You saw Cole Horan in, for Nick DiPietro, and BA didn't. Brendan Aviles didn't play today, so you saw more of Spencer Small and Sam Alexo, and there just isn't a lot of game experience, with that group. And I'm not saying it's those individuals. I think a lot of times, just like defense clearing, you have to clear with a package. It's not an individual effort. So that I think with some of our injuries, it hasn't helped our chemistry right there. We got some guys with inexperience, and we got to find them some experience in a hurry.
Andrew?
Yeah, just wanted to ask about Nick and Brendan. How long are they expected to be out, and will they be back perhaps by next Saturday?
I think we'll see with Brendan. Nick, we'll know this week. We'll know this week on Nick whether he can get out there next weekend or not.
Thank you.
Yep.
Patrick?
Yeah, Coach, just taking stock on the season as a whole, you're 1-3 now in ACC play, 5-4 on the year with 2 road games left. Do you think that this team is still a tournament team?
Yeah, I do. I think some of it's going to come into play the next few games, but I see who we've played and who we've lost to, who we've beaten, and probably a lot of it will be determined on who else is being considered. But we've certainly, schedule-wise, have played the best teams in the country and going to play the best teams in the country. And I think we've got some wins against guys who could win their conference. So we'll see. With 3 weeks to go, it's again, a lot of things could for as long as I've coached, I've seen things come down to that last week for a lot of teams, and whether they win or lose or they win their conference championship. So still a little bit early, but obviously disappointed in the decisions we made today.
Got time for a couple more. We'll start with Lindsay.
I was curious if you've seen yet, had time to look at, was there a common denominator in any of the defensive lapses? Carolina had 12 different scores, a lot of good ball movement. Did you notice any sort of recurring mistakes that were made defensively?
There were so many that recurring mistakes. I think it is our recovery, leaving people open. They do a nice job of throwing the ball to X. I think Gray had 6 assists. So he catches it and distributes it pretty well. And, we got a combination of things. How many did they get off the face-off? They got a few goals off the face-off. They got a few on rebounds where we made the save and it came out. A couple missed slides where we didn't slide and we should have, and a couple where we did slide when we should have, and the recovery didn't get out to find the open man. So, if I watch the film and I see all their goals, it's going to be a number of things.
Last 2 questions are going to go to Ian and then Yo.
Hey, Coach, did you see anything specific that Danny was doing at the face-off X to, bring your team back even in the second quarter?
Well, we've talked all year long and that Danny and Jake are a little different technique-wise, so it was a good, we felt it was a good matchup. And Danny, I think when he came in, he did a little better job of making decisions after he got the ball out. So that's why we went, more with Danny than Jake. We stayed with Jake because he was getting on top of the ball and he was getting it out to where he wanted it to go, but either we didn't pick it up with our wing or he didn't pick it up, or when he did pick it up, he didn't make some good decisions on where to put the ball. So I think the difference was Danny was making better decisions where to put the ball.
Hey, Coach, just looking ahead to Wednesday, there's a Black Athletes Lives Matter march scheduled by Syracuse Athletics. Do you expect your team to be out there? Do you expect to be out there? And if so, how do you think that's going to impact your preparation for the next game?
Yeah, that's a great question. We'll be talking about that early in the week. We want to be out there. We're going to support that. I know that there's a lot of COVID issues, right, with the gathering that big and the placement of people. So I think that's going to be there's going to be a real trick to that. With games left, the last thing we need to do is hit a positive. But we definitely want to be out there and support that. And we're waiting to hear what administration is going to tell us as far as how we can do that safely. But we definitely want to be there and support that.
Have you spoke to other coaches such as Coach Boeheim or Coach Babers? Do you expect them to be there as well out there with you guys?
I have not spoke with them, so I can't answer that question. I know both of them would want to be there and support that. I definitely know that from talking to them in the past. I'm sure if there's a way of them doing it, it'll happen. And I don't know where. I have no idea where they're at. So it's really, I'm just shooting in the dark here.